interview here with the absolutely phenomenally amazing FenSTAR, who is an infinite being beyond magnitude. Somebody who warms my heart when I read her bio, and for the teeny weeny young age that she is, the amount of things that she has achieved in that amount of time puts me in awe. I was reading your bio last night and I was so warmed and inspired by what it is that you've achieved.
Thank you.
And that your heart is in just this most amazing space that many people are trying to move towards and achieve. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on. As we can see in the beautiful background there, you're in Sedona at the moment on one of your tours.
I am.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the tour. Where are you and what's happening?
Yeah, so I'm in Sedona at the Enchantment Resort for the Celebrate Your Life conference. And it was such an extraordinary 5-day conference. I'm just actually in awe and utter gratitude with the people that I met and the open hearts that were here, all the light workers. It was something special, something very spectacular. And it just brings so much more light into the world with this celebration that this gathering that we all came in, and all the various speakers that were here, like Sonia Choquette, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and oh gosh, they were just Denise Lynn. It's just endless. It's incredible when we get to join together and share of our dreams and our visions and just sharing the light and the heart with one another. It's I mean, my heart right now is even more wide and open.
And it was pretty big to start with. But I think that they are the moments that you were just mentioning when we connect. They are the moments when we realize and have a moment of remembrance that we are multi-dimensional beings. We recognize where we come from. We recognize we're from source, and we remember briefly, to some degree, as much as our little human suit minds can comprehend, a full multi-dimensionality.
Yeah, you know, Serenity, you are so right. And you, my dear, are an infinite magnitude, phenomenal, gorgeous sister of light. And I'm so honored to be interviewing with you today. So thank you.
And as I'm learning to receive, I'll say thank you very much and thank you for noticing. I'm just learning to receive the lot.
I'm seeing a mirror of me and you right now.
When did you have your awakening?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go a little bit of my background first, just to give you the context. So, my family came to Canada as refugees, and this was in 1972, the Idi Amin regime, and Canada welcomed the entire family. So they started there with just pennies in their pockets. So I had a little bit of a rough childhood in the sense of, and I mean, of course, we know this is a story, but I think it gives a bit of the context of my awakening then. So I had sexual abuse from a relative from age 7 to 15. I had bullying in school and racism, the whole shebang. And then when the truth came out and the abuse stopped when I was 15, I carried suffering from 15 to 30. So it was 15 years of then the suffering that, you know, we create in our mind and over as if the pain is still there, until I was it was at a retreat in California. And I was at the retreat and I was outside in nature, and it was there where I just sat there, you know, after a couple of days in these dyads, and I just sat there and I started singing a song, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I think it was amazing, and everyone started singing with me, and the trees were whistling, the birds, and then I just paused for a few seconds, and I hear love and light. Therefore, I forgive and I let go of the past. And I felt my entire body just vibrate. There were so many vibrations, and I just had tears, and I just felt like light, and I felt so joy. And that would probably say was my first awakening. And of course, you know, what happens is when you have your awakening, then the signs, just all of a sudden you're open to all the signs. So everywhere I'd go, I was with a girlfriend of mine, and we go into these shops and we would see the Buddha. And Buddha represents the enlightened one. So I'd see Buddha statues. We would everywhere. Even in the movie theater, there was a big Buddha statue at one of the, I forgot the Los Angeles, one of those theaters that had a Buddha statue. And that was the beginning. And since then, and that was, oh gosh, how many years ago? Maybe six years ago, my life has just transformed. And I live differently. I've taken time to really get to know who I am and grow with the spiritual awakening and really harness my gifts and know that I'm here. I have a unique blueprint and I'm here to gift. And as you know, the music is one of my gifts that I've been so blessed and showered with. And so that's where I'm at right now, is just the gifting of love and light and music and joy and happiness and just uniting with our global family. We're all one. We really are. And if there's one message I just would love to share is that we are all one. There is no separation, and it's really only unification. And then we will transform and unite and bring this unity and bring harmony and bring peace and laughter and love and oh gosh, like, you know, magnificence that we really are. If we just all remember it, we're going to turn this world into the most glorious paradise ever, because it already is here.
Yeah. It brings tears to my eyes, because your vision of that is pretty much the same as mine. I know it's possible. And, you know, that awakening you had is one of those, like, choice points that we get in life. Like, at that moment, you had this choice point to give over forgiveness or to keep living and walking in the heavy story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which was that benefiting you at the time? And obviously it never is when we're living in the story. I mean, you could live to a 500-year-old being in this human suit and still remember. You remember that moment so well that the moment you started speaking of it, and I'm sure that the people watching this recording will feel the same. The moment you started telling that moment in your life, I was there. I was feeling it as well. I had goosebumps from head to toe. That was truly a defining moment for you. And thank you so much. I want to thank you for the rest of the world for you stepping into that, because as one of us remembers and wakes up as if from this long slumber, like what's that man that slept for 100 years? Rip Van Winkle?
It's actually one of the lines in one of my songs.
Oh, there you go.
Sleeping under a spell, don't know who you are. The roses make you smell to the truth of yourselves. I mean, we're forgotten. You know, we're not even here to learn. We're here to remember.
Yeah,
we're here
absolutely.
to remember who we are.
And every day.
Yeah.
Every day I remember more and more. And seriously, walking around, the more I remember, my daily life feels like I'm walking around in a permanent orgasm with the universe.
I love that. I love that.
I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, oh my God, life is good.
Well, right now I'm in Sedona, so of course the mountains, you can't help but smile all the time here. But even then, in my own life, it's just being in utter awe. I mean, our Mother Earth has blessed us with so much awe and beauty. And then there's beauty in the eyes of another. Look into someone's eyes. We see so much beauty. We see beyond their physical garment. We see right into the depths of their soul, their spirit. It just radiates. But there was a time where I actually did feel it was hard. I would feel the dents. I'd feel the pain. I'd feel people suffering, and I'd feel it. And I had to also myself transform through it, because the thing is that you know, if someone is going through something, and I'm not here to take it on, I'm here to be the supporting love and light. And so it was a time too where there were times where how do I put it, where I was thinking to myself, and then I had to get out of the mind, because the mind is what happens. It creates a lot of duality and polarity. I had to get into my heart, because when you're in the heart, you just know oneness. And then in that oneness, when you're with someone who's going through things, and or even just people in generally, or humanity, you feel it. You unite at the heart of it, and when you get to the heart's just one.
I heard your song that you created, the music from your latest Divinity We Are One album, and the song is called, of course, the cover story of We Are One. I left it open in YouTube, and the greatest joy that I have is every time I reboot my computer, of course it's open in a tab in my Firefox, and it opens up and suddenly I hear Fen singing to me and I go, oh my God, thank you so much. So I don't know, I'm rather reluctant to shut it because I love the song. It brings tears to my eyes, and I love every time I reboot my computer, I hear you singing to me. So you're with me often. Everyone that I've shared the song and the video with, it's warmed their hearts, and I'm absolutely certain that the rest of the album is just as amazing. What inspired you to create your newest album, Divinity, We Are One?
Okay, so the actual album, Divinity, We Are One, the first album was called Divinity, and that was released on 11/11/11, so like just about a year ago. And after I finished the album, I received a very strong message from God that this album is not finished, that it went for the 11/11 portal, but now there are more songs to write. And so then I went off to Hawaii, and soon after, and 2 songs were inspired there, Journey Home and Walk With Me. And then I came back, I worked on it with my producer, and then after that I went to Sedona. Now I had the theme of writing a song about oneness, and I had it for like a long time. But when I came into Sedona, I was on I just studied with John Below Melchizedek, and after I was finished, I spent some time in Angel Valley. And while I was in my pilgrimage, I called it a pilgrimage here, because I really spent a lot of time within and with the angels and with God and just conversing. And then I received the lyrics for We Are One, and we co-wrote together, working the song We Are One. And I didn't know the album was going to be called Divinity, We Are One until I was in Peru just this past August with Greg Braden, and I was at the portal gate. It's a Stargate. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Stargate in Lake Titicaca. You have? Okay. So I was at the Stargate, and we were meditating, and I was sitting there. I was in this deep, deep meditation, and my God's infinite light just came through, and I hear very clearly, we are one. We are one, the movement. We are one, the movement. And I'm to create this movement. We are one. And the new album to be called Divinity, We Are One. And that the We Are One is the main theme of song of this whole album. And really what's happening on the world is bringing in the oneness. And I was moved. Like, I remember that day at the portal, and even after it, I was in tears most of the day. I was just so filled with gratitude, with love, and this inner knowing, just that feeling of this oneness. And I had the vision of our total global family and beyond just joining, and it was just so miraculous, just to see it, and then you see it, and you see it so clearly, and there's this knowing that yes. And then of course coming back to Sedona just now and having the conference, and everyone's listening to the music, and I'm just, a part of me is somewhat speechless. I mean, you kind of got me at a speechless time, because I just finished a little session with a vision wish board. Have you ever done one of those? Well, I never have. I've never done one of those. And just kind of, we were listening to the music while we were doing it. There was a group of us, and when we realize and remember how magnificent and glorious we are made in the image and likeness of our Creator, and each one of us is a unique blueprint, and we are a part of, if we were to look at, just say, we are each part of the ocean as one whole ocean, and we are one. And I mean, that just rings everywhere I go. It's just one. I look at a tree, I see oneness. I see a bird, I see oneness. A rock, a pebble, an ant, a spider. I mean, it's infinite. And the infiniteness of it, and the infinite possibilities and opportunities, and the feelings and the sensations and the vibrations. Like, wow, we are living in the most magnificent and glorious times on our planet. How blessed, honored is it to be here?
I don't know. In fact, I personally think there's no words for it. I'm sitting here just nodding my head. Seriously, you're speaking to the converted. I am right there with you, sister. And you know, you mentioned the sort of We Are One movement, and I guess this magazine is called One Mag, and it's all about oneness. You know, I guess as we're awakening at this particular point in time of our human development, that, you know, this magazine is even a part of that oneness movement. You know, it's all about showing these moments of oneness to people, and tools and tips on how to get there. And, you know, tell me about the We Are One movement from your perspective.
Okay, well, firstly, I want to say how incredible it is that you are making this magazine and creating it for the world.
I listened, I heard the call, and I did whatever I could to do what it took to get past my fears and stuff to stand up to go do it. So here I am, and I'm going through no matter what. And
I'm very honored that I'm with you right now for your magazine. So I just want to tell you that, and I'll kiss right back to you. So yeah, the We Are One movement. Well, here's the dream, is to tour around the world with this music, and We Are One. And so the movement is joining, okay, let me give you an example. Right now I'm in Sedona, and on November 17th, I've joined in with the local artists here. We're having Elizabeth Silk paint live, Three Trees plays on the drums, Mia Margaret plays the harp, and Satori is going to be leading a meditation. We're at Angel Valley, and I mean, this is what it is. It's about collaborating. It's about coming together and sharing our vibrations and our talents and our gifts, and celebrating. We're here to celebrate life and love. And I mean, that's the song, the lyrics in the song, celebrating love and life. And when we celebrate, when we come together in oneness, create a ripple effect all over the planet. You know, there was a one time where I actually thought that we needed all of humanity to come into the heart in order for us to become one. But the heart's electromagnetic energy force is, I don't know, I think they say 1,000 times greater. So with that, if just even a small percentage of our human population.
Great Britain and them have been talking about it's something like only 1% of the population. So it's something ridiculous, like 1 million people out of 7 billion need to join together from heart, and that's the tipping point. The rest get to a point where it's kind of there's no choice because the ripples have gone out and they're already enveloped by them.
Exactly. It's like the wings, the angelical wings have already wrapped them into that love. And you're right, Greg did share that. He talked about the whole 9/11. Where and I think you might have seen this, or if our viewers haven't, that on 9/11 they noticed that the Earth's core, magnetic crust, had risen so high, and they wondered why did it happen, and it was because of the 9/11. It touched everyone around the world, and so now we can touch everyone around the world with love and light, and the more people come into the heart, and we have to just merge. I mean, Einstein said it so beautifully. He said, you can't solve the problem with the same way it was created. So right now, you know, there's so many, we look at the world and we know that there are a lot of problems, and we're trying to find, and people are trying to find solutions either on the political side or, you know, or institutions, organizations, and beyond. But really, it's quite simple.
What does it mean to live in the now, the present moment to you?
Well, I mean, we just lost technology right here for a second. And what do you do in that moment? I'm in the vortex and technology doesn't work. So in that moment, instead of getting upset and frustrated, you just like, okay, it is what it is, and move with it, find a solution. So we're starting back again and being in the now moment. But to go a little bit deeper, the now moment is really seeing, feeling, and knowing. It's we have senses that has been given to us. We use our senses to feel, to know, and to see, and to be very present. And when you have an open heart, when you really are in the heart centered, based in your life, and you are just grounded with Mother Earth and to Father Sky, I mean, you can't help but not be in the now moment, really. You're just carried moment to moment, breath by breath. It's quite a beautiful place to live.
I was reading your bio last night from www.fenulla.com. I'll have the link written in text on the page here. And there's a particular sense that you wrote to me that just sums up everything you are, everything you be, why you do what you do, to the grand scale that you do it in. And it just gave me just tingles from head to toe. So I'd actually like to just read that one statement, because I think it's just a fantastic sum up statement for you.
Okay. Sure.
And the statement that you wrote is this, that inspired me and warmed my heart, is: we are glorious, magnificent, and extraordinary love, light-filled beings, and are here upon beloved Mother Earth to experience the grandest version of the greatest vision of ourselves. That, to me, like, if we did an interview and had 3 minutes, if I said, tell me about yourself and about what you do, if you stated that statement, I believe that everything that we've said here, just that sums it up perfectly. Would that be correct?
You are bang on, sister. We're in alignment, you and I, completely.
Yeah. Like those words could be words out of my mouth.
It's if we live by authentic truth, and authentic truth is we each are here to live the grandest, greatest visions of ourselves, and what happens is when we do, that vision becomes one vision, and so each of us living our unique blueprint becomes a part of the totality of oneness, because when you merge it all, it's the same qualities, it's the same essence. And so when we get to that place, and I see it, and I know you do, sister, you see it, there is no separation, we're just one. I mean, if we all come to remember who we are, that at the depths of our being, our sacred heart, there is only oneness. And in that place of oneness, we are interconnected. I'm sure you've heard this, that the heart is the first organ in our development. So if it's the first organ in the development, and I know society, and we've been socialized in such a way that we believe the mind is very powerful. But now we're coming to know that it's the heart that's powerful. And we're going a little bit deeper, because we're going deeper into the heart of the sacred, that each one of us is sacred. Each one of us is made in our image and likeness of of God, creator, source, whatever you want to call it. But that we are so infinite because God, creator, source is infinite. Then when we have that knowing in our heart, we will see life, and we will live from a place where it will completely transform. We will be living in a world of, I just see it, bliss, of peace, where you would look at one another in the eye and just know that from eye to eye, soul to soul, spirit to spirit, and beyond, because a lot of times when people are really stuck in the dense energy and that vibration, that denseness is them stuck in the physical garment, the physical materiality of worlds. And I always tell people, oh, there's more of us here. You think it's humans living on this planet? No, honey. There's more of us. Right now, people are taking photos, and they are seeing orbs or fairies or elementals, and they're seeing these lights.
It's like the veil between the dimensions and the worlds is really seriously starting to thin as we remember and awaken.
And I mean, how incredible is it that we are not alone?
I know.
We are not alone. The love that pours in.
Reading your bio last night, just to give people an idea of the depth and the breadth of you, and your dedication and your passion for everything that you do and everyone on the planet. I did highlight a few things that you stated. At the tender age of under 40, you've authored a book called Balance, Living in Harmony with Peace, Joy and Love. I've seen YouTube videos with you sharing your message of love and oneness. You're a trained yoga instructor. You have gone through university or college there. It's university for the people that speak UK English. Yeah, an elementary teacher.
Yeah.
To teach,
yeah.
So, you have that behind you as well. You desire nothing more than to help others bring a balance of peace, joy, and love into their lives. You've created one music album already as a rock star or a oneness. We'll call you a oneness star. We're starting a new award, the Oneness Star. On the 11th, called Divinity, and you've now just brought out, I think it was on the 18th of October 2012, the Divinity We Are One album.
Day.
Sorry?
It was October 24th, Global Oneness Day.
Oh, I was close.
But it was Global Oneness Day. It's very
significant. It's even more perfect. So that was the second album was Divinity We Are One, and you have your FenSTAR Productions. Tell us a little bit about that side of you as well.
Sure. So after I finished my B.Ed and my psych degree, I taught for a year, but it was my first 2 weeks in my job, and I realized that although I loved working with children, and it was a wonderful career to have, it just wasn't my calling. Like, I knew my calling when I was 5. I can see it very clearly. I see this young girl who was singing, and I knew that I wanted to create music and act and sing and dance for the world. Like, I saw it, and I would do that in my private space. So I decided to go to theater school and study and to learn, and so that I get to know my gifts and my talents, hone my craft. Then when I graduated, I felt like the roles for South Asians were like not very many, so I decided, let me create. I'm a creator. So I created my own production company. I started writing my own plays and co-wrote plays with others, and did 6 productions. One play toured Canada for about 2 years, different venues. And it did quite well because it was about dating. I mean, who doesn't want to watch stuff about dating and love, right? Finding true love. And so it was quite a success. And then in the meantime, near the end of that, I just felt like the music was something that was my original first passion and my first love and my first vision. And so I'm glad I actually didn't do the music earlier, because who knows, I probably would have been singing about, let's shake your booty in the nightclub or something like that. And so the music came through the awakening. Of course, I was writing the book, and my first song I wrote was for the book. I had been writing music too before for my productions and things like that, but not an actual album. And when we're in divine flow and we connect with divinity and we allow the divine expression to come through us, as us, then really it's infinite, creative, limitless potential that we soon get to then realize and let it unfold in each thing that we see and we have this vision for. And as I was saying earlier, we each have a unique blueprint. And we have many different types of gifts and talents. Like, I mean, you yourself said you took so many different courses, you have certifications. You could continually keep learning, because if you have a desire and a passion and also the patience to keep learning, you will do so, whatever your heart calls out to you. And then there comes a point too in your life where and it's sort of where I'm right now, where I am very creative. I'm doing some more writing, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying sharing the music and sharing the love and the joy and the celebration. And I couldn't be, I don't even know what the word is. Like, sometimes, like, words just can't even express sometimes what we really feel in our hearts. And the feeling is, for me, the most powerful thing. And then words come from feelings. That's how I am. We have this sense of knowingness too. I mean, because we're co-creator beings, and we do have choice. We have free will to choose in every given moment. And when we're in alignment with the flow of our life and the life that's all around you, you're right, the signs, the messages, that's how I live. Do you know what I do? I'll go places and I'll be like, okay, where should I go? Where should I be? Who should I talk to? And I tell you, I just allow myself to be guided, feeling the vibration. Perhaps I'm to be somewhere where I'm to be giving. Perhaps it's somewhere I'm to be received. Receiving, in the receiving end. And I have to tell you, it is so beautiful to live that way, because then that's where it's like you're moment to moment, and you're in a place of such openness, knowing that any vibration, any energy, and anything is possible, and it's really limitless. And I mean, one of my songs is called Limitless, because that's what it is. We have so much potential to create anything and everything our heart desires, but we have to not have doubt. Like you said, if you even have a little ounce of a doubt, just
0.001%, like,
and I, because those times where I've had doubts, it does not manifest into form.
And it's about receiving. A lot of people are willing to give, but are blocked off to receiving. And the whole flow of the universe is what I've been experiencing, and it works for me once I opened up to receiving. The path that I'm on now is just receiving. I am realizing and remembering that I am an infinite being. And would an infinite being block receiving? It's about giving and receiving, and I'll receive it. If you call me horrible things, I'll receive that. I'll say thank you for noticing. I am that. I am.
Because we're all of it. We're all
good, bad, and the ugly. In some lifetime, in some place in the universe, I was everything you could possibly think of in some form. Who is and or what does God, Source, Creator mean to you?
For me, it's everything. It's all. It's totality. There is nothing that it is not. And I feel that the reason why I've been guided with We Are One is because that to me is what represents God, Creator, Source, is oneness. It's infinite. It's everything and everywhere, and there's nothing that it is not. Or as we were saying earlier when we were talking about the realms and the beyond and the humanity, it's creation. And then also then I look at as love. It's just unconditional love. I mean, the love that comes from God, from Source, from Creator, it's so infinite that at times, like, it moves me. It just touches to my being, and because that's the kind of love that it's so unconditional. I mean, I can't even put a word. I mean, we say unconditional. We know what unconditional means, but it's beyond anything. It's someone would say, "Oh, I've died and gone to heaven." It's like heaven. It's bliss. It's nirvana. It's on and list you dictionary words, but really, it's the most extraordinary feeling, knowing God's love, and that love is within. And I'm expanding myself to that love more and more each day, to that light more and more. And I'm just an open vessel, a channel to bring in that infinite light, infinite love through me, as me, in everything that I do, and being the expression of divinity. And I mean, Serenity, I'm in just utter awe and in gratitude. It's like I can't even say thank you enough. I can't say thank you enough for the blessings. Like, when someone says, "How are you?" I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm in love. I'm light. I'm with everything and all of it. And that's when I know I've connected with God and with Source, with Creator, with the infinite. And then when I do that, and if we all do that, and we are doing that, what I say is it's already there. It's just manifesting now into our physical reality, as we call it, because there's so many realities. There's parallel worlds happening at the same time.
I call it our individual energy bubbles. My energy bubble, your energy bubble.
I could just smile for
I think we'll
hours.
just sit for 5 minutes and just watch you.
When I get into that space, I'm smiling so much, and I'm just beaming.
Pretty much what I said. It's kind of like walking around in the orgasmic bliss, euphoricness of everything. And my desire and vision for the planet is for everyone to get there. It is possible. And if even just you and me were the only people on this planet, which I know we're not, that were being that, you know, that and anyone that comes into contact with us energetically, they get to have that awareness that that state of being is possible.
That state of being is our true nature. We're coming back to our true, authentic nature. One of the things that I feel is we're birthing a new world. We really are. I mean, it's such a significant time in history, firstly, and we're at the cycle point. And, you know, people will say, oh, there's the end of the world. No, it's an end of an age. It's an end of a way of being. And now we're entering into a new way, into a new consciousness, an open consciousness. Like you were saying earlier, expansion. We're expanding because we're coming to know the infiniteness that we are. And in that infiniteness, anything and everything is possible. And so when people say, oh, well, I can't see what's going to happen, it's going to be catastrophe, drama, this, that, I'm like, no, we're in the place of celebrating life and celebrating love. That's what we're doing here. And in that celebration, in the oneness that we are, we don't even know what's going to happen, but all I feel that what's going to happen is we're going to create the most marvelous and miraculous and glorious and heaven. You know, when people say, what does heaven mean to you? Heaven is what people say is like returning home. But imagine we're returning home in a physical garment here, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, to me, like the way the Bible,
so where do you?
The way that the Bible describes heaven and hell is just not how I see it. Heaven is here right now, living and walking the walk of everything we've been speaking about, the oneness, the unconditional love, living in gratitude to the point where you're speechless and euphoric all the time. That's heaven right here, right now. And hell is living anything less than that. By not remembering who you are, by not expanding into your infinite beingness, to live within judgment and, you know, unforgiveness and living in your story. To me, seriously, that's hell right here, right now. That's heaven and hell to me. And I choose, and it's all about choice. I choose heaven.
There's a lyric in one of my songs called Masterpiece where it goes, there's a burning desire to be everything you know you ought to be. And that to me is key, and it's a masterpiece because I believe that we are all created with perfection.
Yeah.
And when someone will be like, no, you were created imperfectly. I said, and then why were we created imperfectly? Is because then you know, if you're imperfect, then you are going to be learning and da-da-da. I'm like, no, we were created perfectly. But of course, like a lotus, you know, you'll see a lotus come out of a very mucky water, this beautiful lotus flower, and it's perfect. So I look at the muck, all of the things that make us, you know, the things that we have to go through life to remember who we are. And then when we remember who we are, we're this beautiful masterpiece of a lotus.
When you can look past the human suits that they're wearing in this lifetime and the masks that they wear under the stuff and baggage that they choose to carry, and see that spark of divinity in them, there is nothing to forgive. When you can see that in every person. That is the gift of being in a physical body, to feel and experience that. To me, that's heaven.
That is. I want to share one picture. This is what I do in one of my meditations. I see myself sending my love and light everywhere to everyone, and I have this visual of me sending it to over 7 billion people living on this earth. All the animals, all the plants, the flowers, the birds, the bees, the insects, the elementals, the rocks. I can go on and on and on, and I just see this light, just and love of mine penetrating. At times, like I'll be like crying in my meditations because it's so. It moves me. The vibration is so powerful. I mean, divinity is within all of us and in all of creation, and we're just expressing it in the grandest forms that we are, that we've chosen to incarnate at this time. And I just want to say how much I love you and I cherish you. And even though, Serenity, we've not known each other, okay? Just a short window of time, I know you and I see you.
And I see you.
I see you, sister. And when I see you, sister, I see me and I see oneness. And I see that what I see in you and what I see in myself and what I see in everyone else, it's infinite. And it's like you said, I love it, phenomenal. And
I use that word a lot these days, phenomenal. It's my key catchphrase. Everything's just phenomenal.
I could be this constant like tear of wells of, tears just come like this well, because right now my heart's so full, it's so open, and it keeps expanding. And
I know. Isn't that amazing? You can actually, sometimes I actually feel the expansion.
Einstein had said, imagination is more important than intellect. And the way that I look at imagination, it's when a person goes into their imagination, they will feel it. They will feel it, because how can you not? When love is sent forth into the universe with such magnitude from our hearts, like I feel my love is so powerful in the sense of that it really touches everything and everyone. And even in my meditations, when I sent it forth, I feel it going into everyone's heart. I feel it. I feel it.
I know.
They will feel it, because how can you not? When love is sent forth into the universe with such magnitude from our hearts, like I feel my love is so powerful in the sense of that it really touches everything and everyone. And even in my meditations, when I sent it forth, I feel it going into everyone's heart. I feel it. I feel it.
I know. I'm right with you, right on that page, in that exact volume, in this 10 seconds. I hear you, I see you, I feel you, I am you. I love you, I honor you, and any other nice word you could think of.
I forgot to bring a tissue with me here.
I say that from the bottom of my heart.
Am I really here on Earth right now?
Yeah, I pinch myself now and again. Yep, that's right. I feel that. I am embodied.
No, but I was just going to say that you're in Australia. I'm in Sedona.
Yeah.
And that's one.
Yeah, I love it.
It's across time and space. Yeah. And time zones for that.
Technology is one of the greatest gifts that the universe gave us to create oneness that we ever had. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the world?
Well, what's coming for me right now is this. No one needs to be taught how to love. Love is not something that needs to be taught. one just has to feel it from their heart. They just have to feel it. That's it. If you just feel love, anything and everything is possible and is infinite. To me, it's the most powerful vibration. Love and gratitude. Because when you're in gratitude, you're feeling love.
And when feeling love, you're in gratitude. It's like a hand in a glove, right?
What I do is when I go anywhere or when I see anything or even in my dream state, seeing everything as sacred. And that everything is sacred because it's everything and everyone is important and significant. You know, like someone will say, oh, but that's more important than this and this is more important. It's like, no, why are we creating all these separations? Those are all illusions. Let's get past the illusory world and let's just get into the simplicity of that we are divine, we are love, we are light, embodied, filled beings. And we are expressions of divinity. And it's within us, it's all around us, it's through us, it's everywhere and anywhere, nothing less, nothing more. Right? We all are here with purpose. You know, everyone's like, what's my purpose? Well, really, ultimately, our purpose is to express our divine nature. Yeah. That's our purpose. I mean, divine intelligence is within all of us.
Including an ant. I honor the ant if it's being authentically an ant. I'd dearly love to thank you for your time. I love you. I honor you. Oh, that's right. I've already said that many times. Anyway, I'll say it again. I love you. I honor you. I see you. I'm totally in the depths of gratitude that you, through your busy schedule while you're traveling in your the We Are One movement and sharing your latest albums, that you've shared the time with us and shared your message and shed a little bit of light on the amazing, awesome, infinite being that you truly be. And thank you for coming, helping me in the oneness movement get the word out there of oneness in One Mag. So One Mag that has a consciousness of its own loves and honors you exactly the same. Thank you for helping it have its platform, giving it some amazing content to share its message with the world. I do feel it has a consciousness of its own. I'm really just its vessel helping it be here because I am in the physical and it isn't.
I'm with you on that, sister, and I just wanted to say to you, I was so excited when I heard that you were kidding me? Like, it couldn't have been more of a divine alignment of us meeting. And I want to say to you, thank you for giving me the platform to share the We Are One movement and to share oneness and all the beautiful messages that we've exchanged here today in our interview, because I can't do this alone. There was a time where I was like, how am I going to do this? And then I let that release of the how, and I just trusted without an ounce of doubt. I trusted that, well, oneness is who we are. So of course there is not a matter of how, because it is. And if I just be the grandest version of me, of my divinity and oneness, of who I am, and really what I am is who you are and what everything is, and I just allow myself to just flow and be guided. And look, I'm here in Sedona now, just trusting.
You're in Australia.
Oh, I'm in Sedona and Australia, and really, I just feel when we've been talking, do you know there was this deep sense where I felt like there was no even certain place. Did you know there was a moment? There were moments when we were
actually. Now that you've mentioned it,
didn't even feel. I even didn't even know where I was. I was like, I feel like I'm just in this. One would call a wormhole, really anywhere and everywhere.
Vortex is a better word. I was going to say, it feels like we've been in a vortex. I've totally lost track of time. Like, we could have been sitting here for 5 hours for all I know, honestly. And there was a time in there where it's like time, well, not that it stood still, it didn't even exist.
It didn't exist. And for me, and for you, see, that's what's supposed to happen to me, is I lose words, because when I'm sometimes in moments, okay, when we're in meditation, right? We're in this moment, and we're just in this sheer, infinite, limitless moments of meditation. And I even felt like our interview was a meditation, because I feel life is this grand meditation.
So, thank you.
The divine within you. And I recognize and I bow to the divine within you. And I say, thank you from my heart, from my soul, from my spirit, which is one with you. And I say, thank you for being you, for being here, for being with me right now in this time and space. And I love you.
As I love you. Namaste.